Hello and welcome to GPVWC Atlantic Series here at Ontario Grand Prix at Mosport. This should be a very interesting race, and we're in warm-up. We have skipped the qualifying, and with you on the main seat of the commentary is me, Kacper, Kolodziejczyk, and joining alongside me is Ben Willis.
Hello to everybody at home. Hope you're all doing well, and hopefully we should have a great race today.
It should be a fantastic race. The racetrack looks great. I think it's a great racetrack in general from my experiences, and it looks like these cars are extremely quick here, and it is very treacherous though.
Definitely, yeah, it's a really flowing track. We're looking at about 1 minute lap times in quali trim, but there's a lot of elevation, very easy to get it wrong as well. The walls are very close to the track, so very interesting, I think it will be.
I think it will indeed be very interesting, and we've seen something that's quite spectacular from Jordan Weeks. After having his pole be taken away at Charlotte, thanks to his back of the grid, this round he did get a pole by an impressive 0.4 of a second, which is absolutely immense for a track of this length.
Definitely, yeah, he was really on it. The only thing we did notice whilst we were watching him was his setup is very loose. He was sliding all over the place, so what may have happened, he may have set up the car for just qualifying only, and that could cost him in the race. I think a big story today will be tyre wear. We have so many sort of flowing corners that a lot of drivers are reporting, really tough tyre wear on the alternate tyre. So hopefully Weeks can keep that under control, and then he should have a good race there. He's definitely got the pace for it. But as I say, it's all about tyre length today.
Yes, and indeed, I'll have been talking to the drivers before the race has begun, or before the qualifying has begun, excuse me, and they all did mention the tire life. Whoa, as I see Borja Milan nearly taking out Wopke Hostra on the straight. But that said, yes, the tire life. There's talk about using the harder compounded tire on this track. In fact, it is said that the alternate tire, the red sidewall tire, is actually going to be questionable on being able to do it on just one pit stop.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close call, really. You're only looking towards the edge of about 20 laps on the alternate softer compound. So if you're careful on it, I think there's a chance for a one stop. Otherwise, you've got two choices. You either switch onto the harder tyre, that's going to be obviously slower, it's a harder compound, not as much grip, but it has that life in it. Or do you go for a two-stop aggressive soft strategy, try and drive faster, but have the extra pit stop in there? So it's going to be quite interesting on strategy, really. The fuel should make it one stop, no issue. It's tyres are the limiting factor today.
Yes, and that's what I'm hearing as well. But what I'm also hearing that is that the difference between the tires could only be possibly about half a second, a lap at the beginning,
okay.
Which could actually warrant you the use of the harder compound. Considering by the end of the stint, if they really do go down to the essentially basically go through the entirety of the thread, I think it's actually quite warranted to use the alternate tire or the primary tire, which is going to be much quicker by the end of the stint.
Definitely. Well, if there's only half a second in it, then that definitely makes that strategy more viable. You're not losing too much on that harder tyre. But equally, if you're driving fast enough on the soft tyre, and you can make up, it's going to be about 20-25 seconds for a pit stop probably. If you can make up that gap, then again, the two-stop is probably viable.
That is very true, and again, I think it's going to come down to how quickly the pace deteriorates on this alternate compounds, and I think this is going to be the first race where we're actually going to see the battle of the strategies, and I think it's going to be fantastic. Always love to see that.
Yeah. Yay!
Yay! So
Stream's gone down.
Yay!
Oh no, it's back.
Okay, I think we're back. So sorry for that. We had a bit of a technical issue with an OBS crash. So
things are going well tonight, aren't they?
Oh, they're going fantastic. We've had a couple of crashes already, and that is also the reason why we haven't covered the qualifying. So let's just hope that in the race we're not going to have too many of these issues. But I think for once I'm going to be happy to not have to commentate on the entire race on my own.
Yeah, you've got company this time.
Yes, you can watch people for crashes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, going back to our tyre point, actually, there are a few people trying out the harder tyre at the moment. I'm seeing Christoph Lichtenstein out there on the harder tyre. So is Dorian Trapp for Cosmo. There was one more spotted. David Yunt, and is that Rookie Racing? I think he's got the hard tyre on. So there's a few people trying that alternate strategy. So we'll have to keep an eye with them.
You know what? I'm having a feeling, at least regarding through my race view, that seemingly the fastest driver on track currently, Thomas Hinz, was actually doing that on the harder compound, possibly.
He was indeed. Well, he's on the harder compound at the moment, and if he has set that time on there, then that's a pretty good time, a 1:01.5.
Yes.
It's still 1.2 second off the quali pace, but obviously that will be on full tanks, and not on the softer compound. So.
Yes, I've heard of low 102s, I think, from Jordan Weeks when I was talking to him. But it could have also been, or it could have been from one of the other drivers that I was talking with. And I think, if this is the kind of times that Thomas can do on the harder compound, I think he's in for a good treat if he can get through the field.
Yeah, he's got to battle through the field though, because he's starting around the P11 mark. I think he's sort of in that midfield position, which is sometimes a little dangerous at race starts, especially with the turn 1 we've got here, which is a relatively sweeping right-hander. But if he can get through that and he can get his strategy going, then I can see good things coming there.
Yes, and I think Thomas would really like a good result here if he can do it. If I recall correctly, and he did also start quite far back in, was it Sebring? Where he did ended up claiming, I think, 4th or 5th place, which was quite impressive. So,
yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, it was quite far back, if I remember. I should really know as his team manager. I should know these things, but I think he was pretty far back, and he did get a pretty good result out of it.
This, yes, and I personally find this series to be fascinating with the amount of. With the amount of just driving skill and actually drivers giving each other a lot of respect. So I really hope that this is going to keep up for the rest of the season.
Definitely. It has been one of the cleaner series. From obviously being part of the DC, I do see a lot of penalties come our way from different series. But Atlantic has been relatively clean this year, which makes my job easier and obviously makes the racing nicer. And it's still exciting for it. We've still got great battles going on track, and it's just good to see it's all nice and clean.
Well, for once, you didn't actually have to give any back of the grid penalties for Charlotte for qualifying cutting.
It was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, somehow nobody cut on an oval. Who could have thought of that? I mean, it did make our job a lot quicker this week, though. So.
Yes, hopefully we won't have too many issues with this one, as we have seen already. One of the drivers giving up on their lap time, Filipiakos. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite easy to do here. That's the thing, especially I think it's turn 2. You've got a massive tarmac runoff on the outside. It's very easy just to drift over on the exit. So easily done round here, especially when you're pushing it to the limit. Yes, and that's actually quite different to the version. For example, if you're used to driving in iRacing for whatever reason, that's actually grassed out there, so it's a bit more scary in there, in my personal experience. Definitely. Well, this is the post 2013 now, I think, when it became Canadian Tyres Motorsport Park. So it's got the extra runoff, and there's a few sort of changes to walls and stuff. But apart from that, it's the actual sort of track layout itself is obviously similar to things like the iRacing version, which is the old Mosport build. Yes, of course. And by the way, we also have Thomas Hinz, who just left the server, so I really hope that we're going to wait for him to come back. I was about to say, he has been having a few connection issues. He did say to me he may try just restarting in warm-up, just to make sure everything's alright, but he has left it a bit late, given that it's now the end of warm-up, so... I think in those kinds of situations, because we usually have our race director dictate whenever we do go to the next session, and I think he will just try and wait to see if Thomas is going to join back in. Yeah, let's hope so. He's hopefully in contact with Chris, and there he is. There is Thomas Hinz. He's back. So we do have Thomas Hinz on the grid. Also, it's also kind of helpful considering we still haven't actually had our grid set up. Or no, we have. Yes. There it is now. Yes, there we go. As if by magic. Oh, he must be listening to me. No. It's just got you in one ear, just making sure he does everything when you say.
Yes. Of course, that's not what happens. It is a system whenever he's seen Thomas come back in, he activated it. And we have one of the drivers actually wishing us fun, and yes, it should be quite enjoyable, all things considered.
Definitely looking forward to this. It should be a good race. We obviously track, very flowing, very fast, and hopefully there's some good overtaking spots as well.
Yeah, overtaking, that's going to be difficult. And I think I'm not sure. The only race cars I've actually driven around here were GT3s, and I think the only real spots I've ever found in them would be possibly really aggressive move into free.
Otherwise you got 8, haven't you, down from the straight?
Yeah.
It's not really straight. It's just a very long piece of tarmac that's not massively curved. But yeah, that's probably a good position to go into. Maybe if you're lucky, you could go for a dive into 5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you're really, really feeling brave, take your brave pill, and you may just be able to do it.
If you're feeling like Max Verstappen, you could go for a move there.
Yes, and just make sure not to go wide like he did at Blanchimont in his so-called best move in Formula 1. As that will be penalized in GPVWC. We do not like overtakes outside of the track limits.
We definitely don't.
And as we have drivers on the grid now, we have them off onto the formation lap, and this is going to be our grid layout. We have Jordan Weeks on the pole position after quite a bad luck last time around when he did get it, but he had to start from the back of the grid. Second, our Borja Milan with Dino Paolini following. Wopke Hoekstra alongside Paolini. He's going to be hoping for the same start he did in Indianapolis, which was quite amazing, to be perfectly honest. David Junt, absolutely amazing stellar stuff. He has not had the best of seasons, if I recall correctly. Always a little bit off pace, but this time around, 5th place, very well done. Dennis Jordan, 6th place, alongside him with Michele D'Alessandro, who's quite disappointingly 7th, considering his absolutely fantastic pace throughout the season. With 8th place for Argenis Riera, he's going to be trying for a good place, and Mateusz Bogusz in 9th place, a bit slow compared to what I've seen from him in practice, but still in the top 10. With Nico Barkley in 10th, again a bit slower than possibly usual, but still going to be hoping for a good result. Thomas Simpson 11th, with Nirnyar Kumar in 12th. Menno Klant in 13th, and Nicolas Hillebrand, who is our last race winner, in 14th. 15th for Daniel Benefield, and 16th for Roy Schroten, with 17th for Reese Gardner, and alongside him is Domin Trappe, with 19th for Gerrit de Vries and 20th for Fran Lopez, 21st for Jared van der Weide, and 22nd for Andrea Magoso. 23rd for Christoph Lichtenstein, with 24th for Sharon van der Sloot. 26th for Lazarus Philippakos, and 26th, or starting from the pits more like it, is David Baranek. So that would be our starting grid, and it is a massive grid, and it should be absolutely fascinating from the start.
Should be. We've got a nice big grid here, quite a small pit straight though, so it's going to be nice and tight into turn 1, so let's hope everything goes cleanly.
Yes, and we, of course, have a standing start here, so Wopke Hoekstra will be feeling very brave the same way he did in Indianapolis, where he overtook 4 people on the start. So, the driver's still lining up. It is a very long, stretched-out train, as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And here we go, with Jordan Weeks having a good start, but Wopke Hoekstra having the same exact thing and already in the lead before the first corner. In such a short straight. He's already in front by a good 3 car lengths. Wow!
That was a mega start from Hoekstra there. He's gone all the way around the outside of everybody into 1. Otherwise, very clean start though. There's a couple people off at 2 using the runoff, but otherwise very clean.
Yes, as we have a driver barely holding on to the track limits, and that's Thomas Hinz, and early going onto the grass. He's actually in 10th place and doing quite well on the start and going up a place. As Roy Schroten goes for a very late dive and hits Menno Klant slightly, but I think that straightened out both of them, which meant that they were quite safe.
Yeah, he had to use Klant to stay pointing straight there.
Oh, there's the crash between Domin Trappe and van der Weide in turn 5. Oh, that's van der Weide without a front wing. Oh, that's not good.
No, it didn't look good at all, actually. I just caught the end of that. Yeah, Trappe into the outside wall at 5. Looks like he got tagged round.
And by the way, there's going to be a battle for first in no time whatsoever. But with that said, there's a battle actually for 14th place between Fran Lopez and Niranyar Kumar, and then with Nicola Hillebrand right behind. This is actually quite a good little battle there. And Kumar falling down a little bit, but I think now this is just so close. And right behind there's even more battling going on.
Yeah, you can see Kumar really holding onto the car through too. Obviously he's having to sit in the dirty air of Lopez there, and obviously he's losing all the front grip. And just slightly sliding across the track, which is not healthy on the tyres.
Although from my hearing, the actual dirty air is not as big of a threat on this track.
Oh, sorry, car off at 5. That was one of the Holland Racing Team cars.
Oh, that'd be Reese Gardner, no?
I'm not too sure. I'm just having a look around. He was sliding all over 5. It could have been Liechtenstein. It's Liechtenstein. He hasn't got a front wing.
Oh, by the way, there's a battle between Fran Lopez for 13th and Mateusz Bogus. They were trying to go side by side into the final couple final lessons. Does we have a car in the wall? Oh,
that's big. That's big.
That's Riera and Hinz. Oh, Hinz thankfully is still driving, but Riera is retiring.
Gonna have a quick look back at what happened there, but from what I caught, it was nasty. So they're side by side, and Riera's just sort of tagged Hinz round into the second last corner. Don't know if he got caught out by Hinz's braking or something, but yeah, both of them into the outside wall. That's not nice.
I'm not entirely sure if that wasn't Hinz's mistake as well. A little bit, just starting to slide and then being attacked. But with that said, I think there's a little bit of a battle going for first and for third place. Two of them going on at the same time.
Oh, so it's all going on well. Let's see Weeks then. He's got Slipstream up into 8s. He's going to try and go to the outside. That would be gold. But he's done it. He's done it before the corner. Fair play.
Wow, that was a fantastic move from Jordan Weeks. And if he can just keep this up, he can possibly just run away with it. And by the way, just to give you the idea, every driver except for 4 of them, mostly in the back, are driving on the softer compound of tires. So it's going to be mostly drivers deciding if they want to go for the harder compound for the second stint, I think, at this rate.
Definitely, yeah. It's if they go for that second harder tire or try and stretch out another pair of softs, it's going to be tight.
Oh, that's Bogus going side by side with Fran Lopez for turn 2. That's some amazing stuff, and Bogus actually did make it on the outside. How does one manage to actually hold off someone for turn 2 on the outside is still beyond me.
I have no idea. That was amazing. That's for P11. It's, we're battling all the way down the field here. Is Lopez going to come back into 5? No, thinks better off it. He's gone wide though. Does that open the chance of Kumar? No.
Yeah, it may. It very well may do, because he's still very close.
Yeah, they could get the slipstream down to 8, and Kumar breaks the left, and he's alongside now.
But now Hillebrand is coming through like a train. Absolutely pulling, and he's going to overtake Kumar because of the early pullout from Kumar, possibly, but no, Kumar about holds it.
After all that, they're back where they were.
How is that even possible? And that's actually one of the reasons why I'm enjoying the series so much. There is so much unpredictability and so much actual real racing in here. It's quite amazing stuff.
That's really nose to tail.
And I'm hearing some parts being thrown around. I hope that's not... Oh, that's Baranek being crashed out. He has no front or rear wing.
Wow, okay, he's now driving the speedway variant of the car.
Well, just a little bit less downforce than that.
Yeah. I'm trying to see where he's lost that, actually. Okay, you carry on, I'll see if I can find out where he's lost that.
Of course, and I'll carry on with saying that Jordan Weeks is on a fire. He's doing laps a second quicker than anyone else on the entirety of the grid. That's, well, that's easy going, Jordan. Just make sure that your tires last for the entirety of the stint, is what I'd say.
Definitely. Wow, sorry, just to go back to Baron, it looks like he may have lost it out 4, he just got a bit wide. I think he's lost the damage there, but not too sure. But otherwise, yeah, Weeks is still running away, 2-second gap now at the front. He's really putting the hammer down there.
It's 4/10 of a second this time around. And I think that's still an amazing gap.
Definitely, yeah.
Remember that the laps here are only about a minute and 1.5 seconds. At least they are for Jordan Weeks, and he's still quicker than anyone else on the track, which is, again, amazing.
Yeah, he's really got that car hooked up though. It's absolutely brilliant. Really nice to watch as well.
Oh, what I'm also really finding absolutely amazing is how David Chunt has gone up to 3rd place, and he's keeping there, and he's keeping Milan on behind him for the entirety of this time so far, and he's now, I think, closing in on Hoekstra. So this is actually quite a good race so far from David June.
Yeah, I think Hoekstra could become a little bit of the front of the train in a minute. He's actually sort of the slowest of this little group there, based on lap time, and I think Junt's just starting to catch up. But oh, look at is that P4? That's Milan trying to get past Junt there. He's
Yes.
all over him through one.
Yes, although thankfully, thankfully no contact nor any big mistakes, but Milan's going a little bit wide for turn 2. But it's so very easy to do. There are actually multiple lines for a lot of the corners around here, as I see someone around...
That's Liechtenstein round. That's one of the back markers. He's must have dropped it through there. But he hasn't rejoined, which is good, so he's just letting the traffic through.
And I'm hearing more parts being thrown around. Oh, that's Van der Sloot without a front wing.
Oh dear, where's that happened? He's still going quite fast in a straight line though.
Well, yes, you would. You just won't brake very well.
Definitely. It looks like he's got a bit wide through 6. You've got to watch that inside curb there. It's really sort of quite steep actually, and it's sent the car out into the outside wall,
Yes,
which is not good at all.
And at this point, I'd like to mention, yes, this track is actually quite difficult to drive. It looks easy, but it isn't. A lot of the corners are very treacherous, and they're very bumpy. There are very treacherous curbs, actually. They look very flat, but there are points where you just try to drive on them, and you'll just suddenly either make a mistake or start losing traction on your left hand side. If you touch the grass, it can be over in a matter of half a second. So it's very
Definitely,
treacherous.
Yeah, exactly. Like turns 5 and 6 actually have a bit of weird camber to them, and that really can upset the car. If we've seen there with Van der Sloot going wide. But I'm just keeping an eye on the battle for third here. Milan's still staying in touch with Junt there, as they on the run down to turn 8 now. Let's see if he can get the slipstream. He may be a bit too far back though.
That's Liechtenstein making his way on into the pits slowly on the side of the track. Probably some kind of damage that we're not. No, that's him retiring. That's what's happening. But with that, yes, I think it's going to be an interesting little battle, and still is already. I mean, for third place. I mean, Borja is definitely putting some really high pressure onto David, and I think David is not giving up by any means. He's doing very well so far.
He's definitely holding his ground there. I'm just keeping an eye now on P10. Lopez is all over the back of Roy Schroten there. As they come through turn 2 now. Lopez definitely looking faster, but he did have to run quite wide through 1. Just wondering if that dirty air again is just starting to affect the front of the car.
I'm not too surprised, to be honest, that he's making his way through the pack, considering he did have a 5 slot grid penalty in the race. And to be honest, wait, okay, how's David June so high up? He was supposed to have a 5 slot grid.
Oh yeah, there's been a swap for 3. Hold on, they're battling up into turn 8. Milan down the inside of Junt there. I did just caught the end of that.
He did make it.
Yeah, must have had a good run out of 6 or something. But Milan's made the position stick now. He's got through. That's P3 for the YTF1 driver there.
Yes, Borja Milan is doing very well. I need to actually quickly see for the standings because I haven't really read up on the standings, and that was a mistake as I'm hearing a part flying.
Let's have a hunt for that.
Beranek without a front wing.
He's in trouble. That's his second front wing he's lost. Right. And he's lost a rear wing, so he's doing well there with the parts.
Oh dearie. Oh, he's lost a wheel.
Is he gone into the inside wall there?
Yes. Okay, this is having me dumbfounded if you haven't realized by now, but yes, that's Beranek trying to crawl back into his pit stall, essentially.
That's quite dangerous, actually. It's a very fast straight, and he's almost out of control. He's using the inside wall to keep the car pointing straight. That's a very bumpy bit of grass there. That's Schroten and Lopez battling for 10th.
Oh, that is side by side going, and I think Schroten will have it through this corner. But no, Lopez is on the outside.
No, they're through.
That was so close, and I don't know if you caught that, but there are literally millimeters between the front wing of Schroten and the back. I guess it's just a little deflector more than anything.
Oh, the side deflector things, yeah.
Yes, the rear end, the rear thing behind the wheel to basically get the aerodynamic disruptions out of the way. But yeah,
no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yes, those are the little parts beside the rear wings is what I'm talking about, by the way, for anybody wondering. They're very, very specific to this kind of series, and I think they're also there in Formula E. They're not very popular, but they are usually there when their series is really aerodynamically dependent.
Yeah, obviously they serve their aerodynamic purpose, but they also stop if a car was to hit from the rear. It's to try and stop sort of the car riding up the rear wheel as well, so to avoid sort of any airborne cars, which doesn't always work. But
well, of course it won't.
Yeah, here you go. But as I was saying, that Lopez has just come out to some lap traffic, but he's making some headway on his teammate Menno Klont. That would be for P9. He's slowly catching up. There's still a bit of a gap though.
Yes, there's a little bit of a possible battle going on, and well, it's a little bit of a train, to be fair, and that's happening for P6, possibly P5 later on, and lower. Well, actually, Dennis Jordan is actually being quite slow and being caught up by Paolini by this point, I think. Oh, that's...
Yeah, they had to get out some traffic there. And just whilst you say that, that's actually letting D'Alessandro catch up for 7th on Nico Barkley there, and he could actually make a move into 8.
Wow, that's so very close, and Alessandro just waiting for the last second to get that last bit of draft. He's gone through on the inside of the final couple corners.
Yeah, textbook slipstream manoeuvre there, just followed him all the way up the back straight there, and pulled out the last minute, took the inside line. That's brilliant. And Paolini in front just went slightly wide through the final corner, so he may start catching up there as well.
D'Alessandro is on a mission, and he's going to be trying to overtake both of them in front, and I think he is very much capable of it, considering his pace in races earlier on this season. And I think if he can just about get to Paolini, it's going to be all over. Considering it seems like the slipstream on the main straight is so very, very big. Oh,
yeah, there's a lot of stream.
That's a
I
mistake.
think that was just Baronet getting out of the way, and so is Van der Veeder at 6. They've taken to the runoff there. But that has sort of held up Paolini a bit, and I'm wondering if D'Alessandro can get enough of a slipstream now.
I don't think it is enough yet. Maybe next lap, but he will definitely close down. Yeah, it is a little bit too far if you look at it. It's still about 2 cars length.
It's just a little bit, but he's still closing up, and he's nice line through 8 there. You've got to watch out for turn 9 actually. It's quite a nasty sort of switchback. You've got all the load on the outside tyres, and then you suddenly switch back, and you can really sort of lose control of the car there. We've seen a few people in practice do that.
Final section is very difficult in general. It looks easy, but again, a lot of the corners do on this track, but none of them actually are, and that's mostly due to the elevation changes, due to the bumpy nature of the track surface. It's generally, I find to be a very good track in general. But also something very interesting is that even though Borja Milan did overtake David Tunt, well, actually, never mind. It was close, but I think David just made a mistake, and he's now 2 seconds back rather than just 0.9 of a second.
Yep, and that's letting Dennis Jordan slowly catch up now, the gap within a second. Obviously, he's going to be sort of outside the slipstream range at the moment. But his teammate, well, that's not his teammate, sorry, that's Dino Paolini. I'm thinking of Supercup there. But Dino Paolini to the outside into turn 8. Can he make the move? No, he's going to back out of that. Jordan will hang on to 5.
That's kind of surprising, sir. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry, no, you carry on. What I was going to say was just I think he was a bit too far back to make sort of a bold move around the outside.
Yes, but then again, we have seen those moves happening and actually working out in the end, so I wouldn't be that surprised if that worked, and it's kind of nearly surprising now that he couldn't make it.
Well, whilst you say that, actually, we've had David Junt, Menno Klont, and Thomas Hintz all go into the pits there, so what are we looking at on the laps front? We're at 14. That would sound reasonable for the soft tyre, but they're probably going for a 2-stop if they've gone back onto the soft tyre as well.
I would have thought so, and that's definitely, I think, what Menno Klont is doing. And we'll see with David Tunt, and David Tunt is still on the softer compound as well, which means that they are going for a 2-stopper. And I think they're just planning on it, considering I think their tires just weren't up to spec by the end. And they just want to maybe see if this is the quicker strategy, which, to be fair, it probably is.
Yeah, I think it could be. It's going to be close though. I'm not sure. Maybe someone will try the hard tyre for the second stop. But as I say, we'll see. I'm just sort of keeping an eye on sort of the lead lap times at the moment. Jordan Weeks is still lapping over a tenth faster than Wupke Hoekstra in second, so his tyres still have some decent life there in P1.
A driver with really decent life in their tires, I think. So far is Borja Milando, who's doing his best laps of the race at this moment and still doing best sectors, even on this very lap, as Baranek gets out of his way currently. And I think Borja Milan seeing Wopke Hostra now and seeing how much he's closing down on Wopke is going to be such a driving factor for Borja. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Borja now going even quicker in a way.
Definitely. Last time around he had a personal best 101.7, which was only topped by Fran Lopez on a 101.4. So he's really on the pace now. He's catching up with Hostra by about 0.5 of a second. Let's just see as they come round next time. I'll get you an updated time. There's still there's 0.3 in it. Milan 102.0, Hoekstra 102.4. So he is slowly catching.
Yes, that's fair enough, and I think he just went a little bit slower for the middle sector. That's why Borja suddenly lost out a little bit. As I'm hearing another bit of body kit in the wall or something.
Where is that?
Oh, that's Baranek in pits without a front wheel, front and rear wing. I don't even know what's happening. Yes.
I mean, he's keeping Dallera in business, but you know, it's a lot of body kits they're going to have to manufacture.
I mean, yes, that's pretty much accurate. And I think they're very glad that this is an online race and virtual race.
And not real life. No,
yes.
No. That's going to save their bank balance a bit. As that is Mateusz Bogusz just coming out the pits, I think. He's gone for a regular stop and he's back out on a new set of the soft tyres.
That is still early, I think, for soft tyre to last to the end. I think if you're talking about a soft tire, you're talking more in around lap 50 or the lap 20, which is about 50% of the way there. Which, just a bit early still.
It's just a bit early. Lopez is also just boxed in from 8th. He's down to 12th, possibly 13th. And again, he's out on another set of the soft tyres. But if they're only making them last 16, 17 laps, they are definitely going to have to stop again. Interestingly, I wonder how they're fueling it, because they could go for a splash and dash at the end.
That's what I was thinking.
Combined with a file tyre.
Considering that, if I recall correctly, they are combined with tyres, you don't lose much if you get a splash and dash by the end of it. So I'd say it is very likely that they're underfueling it a little bit the first time around, and then they're going to just go for a splash and dash with a set of tyres.
Yeah, I think that would sort of be the sensible call there on the strategy. I'm just noticing Milan has caught up even more to Hoekstra. Last time around, a 102.67 for Hoekstra, 102.0 for Milan. So I think Wutka's tyres are just starting to fade in P2.
Yes, but also what's happening now is D'Alessandro is still absolutely pouncing on Paolini, but Paolini is not giving up as he's right behind.
Watch for Barkley behind D'Alessandro. He's all over him through 3 there.
Yeah, I've just seen that. I was looking at D'Alessandro from the rear of him, and then suddenly I just see Barkley come up right there. And yes, Barkley really, really fast as well. So this entire train is being held up by Dennis Jordan. I think it's quite clear.
Yeah, and Paolini's going to go for a move now as he's got the slipstream again. Could he actually make it stick, unlike he did a few laps ago? They're quite even on top speed, I think. And I don't think Paolini's going to make it.
No, I think he needs to go on the inside with the way he has the car set up currently. And he's now into the pits, as is D'Alessandro.
Oh, that was a very late move into the pits, and D'Alessandro is sort of racing him through pit lane there. They're too wide. But both are going to make it to their pit stall okay. What I was going to say, that was quite a late dive from Paolini.
They both missed their pit stops.
Oh no, they're too busy racing each other.
They were. I mean, they both. Oh, as D'Alessandro makes it right in front of Paolini. So D'Alessandro actually jumps Paolini in the pit stops. That's a big news.
Well, he was literally right alongside him as they came into the box there. So it was a good race off pit road there for those two, and that's D'Alessandro out in P10. What's happened to Paolini? He's gone off at 2 on the cold tyres.
Oh no! So that's Paolini.
Because he should have come out in 11th behind D'Alessandro, but he's now 14th. Whilst we have a battle for 11, that's Lopez out on the outside of Gardner through 4. That's a nice move.
That's Hillebrand out of the race, by the way.
Oh, what's happened to Hillebrand?
I think I'm not seeing too much because of my replay being a little bit bugged. but I think he either spun or something happened. I'm not sure. It could have just been a straight out disconnect.
It's Dominion Trapp's in the pits. So is Dennis Jordan. Jordan Weeks. Sorry, two Jordans there. That confused me. And Wupke Hoekstra is also in pits as well. So it seems like we're bang on 20 laps now.
So they're definitely going for a one-stop strategy at this rate, and they can definitely make those tires. Uh-oh. I heard another wing being dropped, and that's Thomas Hinz losing his front and the rear wing in turn 1.
He's still got the rear one. I think he's just lost the front. No, he's lost nothing.
No, he got driven into. He was going very slowly.
Oh yeah, they've just gone now. Yeah.
Oh, Fran Lopez lost the front wing because of hitting.
Oh, I wonder if those two have made contact.
Yes, they have.
Oh dear, that's not good. So that moves Stroton up to 12th, Kumar up to 13th as Lopez drops through the field now. Next one to come past him will be Reece Gardner, and that'll drop him down to 15th.
I'm terribly sorry.
Meanwhile, we got a massive battle for 5th.
Oh dear.
Look at this, Benefield Young 2 wide through 8. Oh, well held there by Benefield.
But looking right behind him, also D'Alessandro attacking Dennis Jordan into the final corner even. He's definitely all over the back of Dennis.
Yeah, definitely. Benefield just pulled off into the pits. That's why he was so high up then, and I think he caught everybody a bit by surprise. But that's a car off entrance of 2. It looked like the other Musto car.
Magoso, yes, he is out of the race now.
Oh no, I wonder if he's dropped it out of 1 and spun onto the inside of the track or something. Also, Van der Veer's going round with no front wing. There's a lot of body parts being dropped.
Yes, Philip Akos without a wing is in pits at the moment, and
Lopez is there as well to fix his wing.
And I have to be terribly sorry to currently, but I think you're gonna have a lot of work after this race.
Yeah, the BC could have a lot of work here. Barkley pits from the lead as well. That's quite crucial. He was the last of sort of the top guys to pit, if I recall correctly. Yes. And that everything should cycle back through now. So Weeks back to the lead, Hoekstra second, Milan third, and they're all very close together.
Yes, that lead by Weeks has dwindled down by 2 seconds in that pit stop. In those pit stops, and Borja Milan is right behind Wupke Hoekstra still, so Hoekstra's still doing very well for himself, and I think now that he got a bit of more pace in that car, I think he's going to be pushing for the top spots possibly. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be able. Will he be able to make it to the end? I really do hope so.
So they both pitted, well, the top 3 pitted all around sort of 19-20 laps, so if they save enough, they could do it. It's what they've done on fuel. I don't know if they filled it up to the brim. That would make sense, I guess, in this case, if you're only one stopping. Meanwhile, back for 6th, that's Barkley defending from D'Alessandro on the run up to 8. I don't think D'Alessandro is going to have enough of a slipstream to pass, though.
No, I don't think so. And at this moment, the side slipstream is always going to work.
I tell a lie. He's kept the nose there. Oh, there's contact. Oh, D'Alessandro through just, but it's. Oh no.
Oh no, that's Barkley spinning out. That's him.
Oh, he's been collected
by Van der Weide.
Yeah, that wasn't pretty. That wasn't pretty at all.
I'm not entirely sure who this is at fault, but I guess that's your job afterwards.
I think it's tough to call because, well, that's a tough one. Yeah, it's hard to tell from there. I think Barkley's tried to go for the gap. It's whether Alessandro left enough space or not.
I think
otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The first bit, it was the only crucial one. As Nico Barkley, I think, is going to retire at this rate. Yes,
yeah, he's parked it there, yeah. I wonder if he had massive suspension damage from the sort of the collection from Van der Weide there.
I would have
guessed still going round.
Oh gosh. Yes. At this rate, I honestly would say that if anyone was at blame in that kind of an incident was the guys at the very beginning. But I think there wasn't anything that either of them could do, personally, from my point of perspective, because it was 3 wide. I mean, yeah, neither of them could see what the other one was doing on the other side of the car, and it was just a little bit. Yeah, I think it's a racing incident, but we'll see. And of course, you're one of the to judge that later on.
We will definitely see what happens there. Meanwhile, I've just been watching Roy Stroton defend from Niranjan Kumar. That was up into turn 8. Another slipstream attempt but Kumar couldn't pull it off. So Schroten holds P9 for Drake, and that's P10 for Kumar at Thunder.
So that's pretty alright for near Kumar. He's not, well, he's kind of having an up and down season if I recall correctly, but he can definitely drive very well, but he can also be very irregular at times. But
yeah, he's not the most consistent, is he? He's very quick on pace, but doesn't quite have the consistency.
Although from what I'm hearing from a lot of people who actually are interested in following his recent career, especially this year in the career ladder, apparently he's not too bad. He's actually gotten a lot better this year, which is always a good sign, and you always want to see drivers improving. That's always the way you want to see it.
Oh, definitely, for sure. Yeah, it's always nice to see new drivers sort of start off in the lower ranks and prove their worth and move up. Meanwhile, I am just keeping my eye on Menno Klont, who's starting to have to think about defending for P7 from Dino Paolini there. Just following through as they come through turn 3 now. There's a bit of a gap still, but that could be something that could start brewing soon.
We also have one more retirement from Mateusz Bogus of the Simtek car. So, no, yeah, 24 laps in, not very good. Probably crashed out because I'm seeing suspension damage as the cause.
Definitely. Meanwhile, battle for P4, David Yunt having to defend from Dennis Jordan. That's on the run to turn 8. Can Jordan go around the outside? No, he thinks better of it. Again, I think Dennis Jordan doesn't have the car set up for top line speed there. It's a few times now he's had to back out of the move.
No, it's actually, I think you're confusing Dennis Jordan with Jordan Weeks, or not Jordan Weeks, but with Dino Paolini when he couldn't overtake Dennis Jordan into those cars.
Yeah, there's so many Jordans, I'm getting confused.
Well, it was Dino versus Dennis, so they started with a D.
I need to make an excuse somewhere, so...
Yes, well, excuses are always a lovely thing to have, as David Yunt makes a bit of a mistake for turn 3, and Dennis Jordan is right behind him, so it could be very, very iffy going through the... Ooh,
that was close.
Yes, that was Yunt making quite a bit of a mistake, but now he's actually got a bit of a gap because of that little bit of a shake-up from Dennis Jordan. But I think with the slipstream, it's actually very possible for Dennis Jordan to actually come in and possibly even attack David Yunt into the last corner, but no, it's a bit too far, and Yunt seems to have quite a good top speed, alright.
Yeah, I think Yunt just sort of locked up the rears up into 5 there, very easy to do, but by him making the mistake, he actually slowed down Dennis Jordan behind him and got a good exit, so he didn't really have to defend into 8 along the long back straight.
As a little bit of a trivia, the driver on a harder compound of tires that's highest up in the standings currently is the 12th place Daniel Benefield, and then the next driver on that compound of tires is Domin Trape in 15th place.
Oh, we got a car in a wall. That was Nirjan Kumar. He's just DNF'd then, but I did just flick over. No front left wheel or front wing. Not sure where that's happened. Oh, but unfortunately, that's Kumar out. Well, we were just talking about him as well.
Yes, it was actually him attacking Schroten on the outside of after the long straight. Kumar just slightly trying to not hit Schroten. It was more of a deflection to avoid an accident, which wasn't going to happen anyway. And then Kumar just couldn't keep it off the grass and hit the wall very, very hard.
Such a shame as well. He's having a really good little performance there, unfortunately. But that's the thing. What do we say about him? We said he wasn't the most consistent, unfortunately. I think our commentator curse may have struck there. Oh no! Benefield's out! We gotta stop talking about people.
Yes, I know, right?
This is not good. How do we do commentary without talking about people? This could be tough.
Yes, just a little bit. We could talk positions, but I don't think that's very good for the driver's recognition.
I don't think it's very good for the viewers either. We may confuse them. Yes. Anyway, back to normal service. P4 is still looking very tight, actually. David Yunt still defending from Jordan and D'Alessandro in sort of a little train that's starting to form there. Again on the run down to turn 8, looking for the slipstream. Nothing Ow! Is D'Alessandro catching up there? He's going to go inside of turn 8.
Oh, what a move!
Oh, that's a brilliant. No, is he going to lose it on the outside? He's gone very wide. No, he's held it.
That's amazing stuff from D'Alessandro. Very good, and he did keep it on track. But also, the front two are kind of here and there, and it's very interesting as well. Since last lap was actually 1.4 of a second quicker from Wopke Hoekstra than Jordan Weeks. So it's very possible for Wopke Hoekstra to now try and catch up, and you can see visibly that it's not very far between the two front runners.
Definitely, I think Hoekstra's starting to respond to Boya Milan behind him, who's still the ever shadow behind him, the ever presence, about half a tenth behind. Again on the run down to turn 8, looking for the slipstream. Nothing doing there. He's a bit far back. But yeah, as you say, I think Hoekstra's just sort of turned the wick up. There's 10 laps-ish to go now, so maybe he's starting to think about making a charge for the first place.
Possibly, and this lap was again 0.2 of a second quicker, so at this rate they're not very far away. They're only 1.4 seconds apart, and I mean that's something you can catch up in a couple laps. And if a single mistake comes from Jordan Weeks, I mean Wopke Hoekstra is just waiting for it.
Definitely, yeah. It's all it takes is one little lapse of concentration around here, and with the wall so close, you know, we've already seen so many bits of body work and wheels and suspension flying. So you know, let's hope they remain focused and they can make it to the end.
Yes, indeed. And what's interesting is that the second and third place runners are actually the top two in the championship currently, and Wopke Hoekstra is 22 points behind Borja Milan, which is not as much as you would think, considering a single race is worth 50 points here. And the difference between the second and third place is only 5 points though. So basically Wopke would have to take the lead right now, and then he'd be challenging for I think only about 10-point gap.
Yeah, going into the final 2 rounds we have in the season. But yeah, it's the interesting thing about Atlantic Series is obviously the point system. You know, you score if you finish here, which is, that can be viewed both ways. Obviously, it's great to score points, but you know, you've got to get to the end first and not crash out like we've had so many people here do. As Weeks catch up with traffic there through 6, but he's okay, makes it past. But yeah, no, definitely he's got a good chance to catch up. He does obviously need to get up to Weeks though and try and take that lead.
Yes, that's definitely one of the things he has to do, and at this point, I mean, I personally find that drivers finishing is such a good thing for a series as well. So, to be honest, I think it's the right decision to give everyone points by the end of the race, just to basically let people or try to make people finish the race and not have rage quitters, which I know in some other places can be an issue, although I'm not seeing much of that in GPVWC, very thankfully, and especially in this series, considering you do get points for just finishing.
Definitely, yeah, it's always good to have some kind of sort of rewarding motivator, even if it is only a handful of points. It's still good to say, you know, you've got to the end, you've got some points on the board, and you know that can help championships as well. If you have one bad race, it's not like you're not scoring. You know, it's still sort of helping your account out a bit. Meanwhile, I was just watching there Jordan having to go the long way round Franz Lopez into turn 8 to get past traffic. That happened about half a lap ago now. But Dennis Jordan's sort of lack of top speed not helping through there.
No, not really. But what's also interesting is how quick Borja Milan is, but he can't really keep behind Hoekstra, and he can't really overtake him even with slipstream. So
no, yeah, I think the dirty air is really starting to come into play there now. He's sort of got so close, but I think he's within 2/10 of a second, but he's had to drop back slightly.
Yes, and I think that's a lot to do with the tires also getting quite used up, as I'm hearing more parts flying around the place.
Who's gone off now? Just having a look through. Yunt's gone into the pits. I think that's to make his second stop. That's a wheel on the exit the final corner.
Oh,
that was definitely a wheel.
Is that that's not Benefield. Wait, who is? Okay, that's very odd because all of the drivers seem to be fine. Although that's David in pits, but I think that may have that scheduled?
Pit lanes before there, so I think that was scheduled. Klontz round final corner. Was it him? No, he's got no damage. He's just lost at the final corner.
Okay, that's weird because so far whenever I did hear
no, it is Klont. He's had trouble. He's crabbing all the way down the front straight there.
Oh, that would be it. Yep, that would be the crash that I was hearing. I just thought it was actually parts flying around, but it was a car hitting a wall. Ooh.
Oh, he's got lap traffic for Lepakakos, having to go all the way off the runoff to get round there, and the leaders are coming through now.
He should go off the track.
Yeah, he really should be using the runoff there.
Yes, that's a smart. Okay, that's smart by the end, but yeah, that's very unlucky for Mene Klunt, who was driving fairly high up in 9th place, I think. So
Definitely.
even
Well,
higher up.
how much has that hampered Hoekstra though? Because he's obviously had to see the slow car and respond to it, and now Milan's all over the back of him through 5
I would have
and
said
through
that
6.
I would have said that because he did get out of the way by the time Hoekstra got there. The one that's the most affected would probably be Jordan Weeks.
True, yeah, he's probably had to back off in response. Let's see if Milan can use the slipstream up into 8. It's not too much there, actually. I would be expecting more. I wonder if he's gone the same way as Jordan with the setup and not gone for too much top speed.
I'd say very likely, but that's a kind of a Red Bull style of racing in the Formula One, where you do have a lot of very good cornering speed, but then what do you do when you have to overtake someone? It's not really working out well if you don't have the top speed.
Definitely, but I guess that is sort of the challenge for this track. You've got so many sort of fast flowing corners where you want that downforce, you want that high wing angle, but then the back straight, which is, well, what we're seeing is it's sort of your only place to pass, really, that final complex.
Yes.
And if you don't have that top speed, you're not closing fast enough to make a move. As Hoekstra goes wide at 5, no,
But
he's okay, he's not too bad.
yeah, that was fine, and I think Hoekstra did lose a little bit of time to Jordan, but he didn't lose anything to Borja. And to be honest, I can say firsthand from racing, not right now in a little bit of a different place, in endurance racing, and I can say I'm driving a Nissan P1, and that thing is very quick in a straight line. And what we have is no... Well, we basically have big disadvantage in corners compared to all the other prototypes. But what happens is no one can overtake us because through the corners you just can't overtake. And then on the straight line, even if they do overtake us, we have so much top speed and so much acceleration that we can just completely go by them. So it's very interesting battling, and I think that's the same kind of thing we see here, only at lower scale.
There's definitely, yeah, you've got sort of similar ethos here. Just a point of fact to mention, David Yunt did just set a session best lap time of a 1:01.072. He has just been into the pits though, obviously for a fresh set of tyres. It's one of the only 2 stoppers out there. But still, using the tyres to good effect.
Yes, he is, and I think, to be honest though, David did do a little bit of a bad decision, I think, make a bit of a bad decision in the beginning just to go for a 2-stopper, because...
Oh, hold on, sorry, we got... that was Milan making a look for P2 into turn 8 there, but backed out of it. Sorry, carry on there.
Yes, but I think it's just he's too far. He lost too much through the pit stops compared to the drivers in front of him. But also,
it was always going to be a tough gamble, though, wasn't it? It's quite close between the 2 strategies. So I think when we're heading into this, I think from what we see now, is if you can protect those tyres, the 1-stop was the better choice.
Yes, and I think by the end we have realized that basically the softer tire is superior in every way possible. So, so that hasn't changed from last time around. Another driver who set the fastest lap of a fastest time of any sector in the session was Reece Gardner with the fastest first sector of anyone throughout the race, but and then setting the fastest lap of his own. But it wasn't faster than Yunt's time. It was 4 tenths slower, in fact.
Now that was a purple sector 1, so he's got that one well hooked up. But otherwise, it was sort of a so-so middle, and wasn't his fastest 3rd sector, so not a fastest overall in terms of session, but still his fastest personal lap.
And I think at the moment, by the way, in front, the gap is still, basically it's a seesaw. We have sometimes Swapke coming down to even 1.1, 1.2 seconds, and then going back up to 1.5. I think it's to do with the setup and with the drivers making slight bit of mistakes and trying to protect tires, but I don't think we're going to see much of a battle for first unless Weeks makes a mistake.
No, I think we've got 2 laps to go now. We're on the penultimate lap at the moment, and I don't think the other guys are making enough headway to really catch up there.
No, definitely not. Last lap, Wopke Hoekstra was quicker by 16 thousandths of a second, which is not enough by any means.
Yes, that's not really going to slice the 1.4 second gap at the last sector split.
Yes.
Really, it's going to take something special for the 2nd and 3rd place runners to get past Jordan Weeks.
Yes, and I think Jordan Weeks actually did quite a good job to improve his consistency on laps. His practice. I'm not really going to say much more, but let's say he wasn't the most consistent in his practice laps right before qualifying, and then took pole position and is quite handily leading the race. So I think.
Oh! Sorry, as you said that, he spun out at 2. He's lost the lead. Hoekstra into the lead.
Why did I say that? Why did I even mention that?
What is it with today?
My word.
That's such a shame. I was about to say he's driven a brilliant, quiet race.
That slope is also spinning.
That's madness.
Last lap.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, Weeks drove.
We may have a battle for the lead up into turn 8. Milan's all over Hoekstra. He's going to go to the outside.
Oh, this is going to be so. Oh, can Milan hold it on the outside? Oh my god.
He's done it. He's thrown into the lead. Milan into the lead.
Milan wins the race.
If he can hold it.
Yes, he does win the race on the final lap in the final sector. Borja Milan, everyone, is our race winner for today.
That was an amazing final lap.
What in the world has just happened over the last lap? Could someone explain that to me?
I don't. I was before, as you were speaking about Weeks, I was gonna sort of jump in and say, he's driven a very quiet but very consistent race, and as I was about to jump in, he drops it through 2. Looked like the rear just got a bit loose, and then that's opened up the gap for Milan. He put the foot down, up into turn 8, makes a lovely pass, and that gives YTF1 another brilliant victory.
As I wanted to simply compliment.
Yeah.
They had the lead on the final lap, both of them, and they lost it to Borja Milan.
Amazing. Just amazing. Shall we round out the rest of the race finishes then? Obviously, we have Milan in first, Hoekstra second, Jordan Weeks in third, and yeah. Yeah,
I'll take it from there. Michele D'Alessandro in 4th place, quite a bit better than his starting position, so he'll be very happy with that. 5th for Dennis Jordan, 6th for Dino Paolini, 7th for David Junt, who will be a bit possibly a bit saddened by the fact that he wasn't higher up with the way he was driving earlier. With the way he was driving in general, but unluckily 2-stop strategy did not work for him. That's unlucky. Roy Shorten in 8th, with 9th for Lazarus Villapacos, who actually did quite well considering his start from the back of the grid, essentially. Fran Lopez is in 10th, with 11th for Reese Gardner, 12th for Domin Trappe, 13th for Menno Klont, 14th for Sharon van der Sloot, and 15th for Jared van der Weide. And those are our finishers, with quite a lot of non-finishers, which I'm also going to go through quickly. But our non-finishers for this race were Daniel Benefield, Nirnir Kumar, Mateusz Bogusz, Nico Barkley, Andrea Magoso, David Berenek, Nicholas Hillebrand, Thomas Hinz, Gerd de Vries, Christoph Lichtenstein, and Argenis Riera.
I'm still lost for words for the end of that race. That was just a crazy final lap. I really do really feel for Jordan Weeks there, who's 39 laps of that race he drove perfectly. And to lose it on the final lap, that must be so gut-wrenching.
I think, well, let's say it's enough to say that my jaw dropped as soon as I've seen the cloud of smoke.
Well, you heard my voice pitch change quite a lot when I saw that, so...
Yes, and I have seen the clouds of smoke right before you said it, and I was, oh no, it's not happening, is it?
It's so much like a slow motion moment as well. You could just see the rear starting to get unsettled and just thinking, oh no, and then he's off into the runoff.
Speaking of which, I think I'm going to bring in our interviewee, so
you go for it.
Do that.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your
channel. And with that, I think it's time to start interviews then. And we're going to start with, well, let's start with the race winner, or the race second place, nearly the winner until 3 corners before the end, Wopke Hoekstra.
Hello.
Well, talk us through the race. Intense start, really good race up to, well, pretty much throughout the race, throughout it, but then the last corner.
Yeah, I had a great start once again. So I was able to get into first from 4th place this time. So I was really happy about that because I knew that this track it's really hard to overtake here. So I was happy that I could get ahead, and Jordan got close to me, and I was like, yeah, just let him go. He's not in it for the driver standings or whatever at the moment. So that was not really important to me. The most important thing was to keep Borja behind, but well, I guess I failed that mission in the last lap. Yeah, he was really quick today, and I had to push too hard to keep him behind, and then my front left was pretty much gone. So I had a lot of understeer, and yeah, he managed to pass me.
Well, a bit unlucky, but to be honest, that was a great race, and you still finished second. It's still a podium position, and I think that's still a fantastic result. It will keep you. It will, I think, lower your lead by something like, or lower. It will lower your. Well, it will make the gap bigger by 10 points, but it should still be fine. There's still a lot of points to go. So, with that said, I think we should go to the driver that has had the unlucky pleasure of having the commentator curse on him, Jordan Weeks. Yes, that last lap was very, very unfortunate.
So you're the one that cursed me. Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Wow. Cool.
Yes. I was literally just talking and trying to compliment you on how you improved your how you improved your ability to do very consistent lap times from the very end of practice to qualifying in the race, and as soon as I was saying that, I see clouds of smoke. So, yeah. But talk us through the entirety of the race. I guess it wasn't that eventful.
Well, it was a difficult race, should I say? Because at the start, I knew that my first gear was a bit for getting off the line. So, seeing Whoopkey just blasted past me at the start. I knew that was going to happen, so I had to quickly chase him down, and I did overtake him. But I didn't really need to let me pass. I was looking forward for a real proper battle with him. But as soon as I passed him, it's just trying to create a gap, make sure no one has my slipstream, control the race at the front. The tyre wear was just horrendous. Even though I felt that I was doing as best as I can to look after them. Then after the pit stop, all the guys just seemed to catch up so much in the pits. Then it was just still trying to control the race from there on. The lap before, in that same corner I spun, the car was perfectly fine. Then all of a sudden on that first lap, it's just that, how did that happen? How? Car's been running perfectly fine through that corner at all times, and then all of a sudden, it just lets go like that. So I'm a bit disappointed. So I really would like to win that race, but when you get cursed, you get cursed.
Unluckily, yes, it seems like unluckily mine and Ben's curses did really work out for at least 4 or 5 drivers this race. It was very unlucky. But at one point we were considering not naming any drivers whatsoever through the rest of the broadcast. So
I think it would have been for the best.
Possibly. Anyway, with the final driver, who is in our interview booth, Reese
User left
Gardner.
your channel.
How did that go?
User left your channel.
I'm spent, basically. It was a very difficult race, and I had a bit of trouble finding my bearings after the start, but I just kept plugging away, and I was on for a solid top 10 until I spun in a really stupid way. And so I had to get that damage repaired, and I ended up coming home 11th. I almost got 10th when Fran went off on the last lap, but I couldn't catch him. So, I guess I don't really have much more to say. I'm physically exhausted.
Still a finish. It's still points. It's and I mean, it's always quite a bit of a gamble in this track. As we've seen, it's so difficult. It seems so difficult to actually keep the cars together. Considering we had nearly half of the field retiring by the end. That was quite immense. So well done on keeping it together for the most part, at the very least, and still finishing, which is a good achievement in any case. And I think with that, Ben, any final thoughts?
That final lap, I'll just say that it was a brilliant race. Summed up by just the action and on that final lap was amazing. Obviously, we've got Road America next, which is a completely different kind of character of track. So I think we're going to see some sort of very different kind of racing there. But otherwise, absolutely thrilling race to watch.
I think so too. And I think we need to, for next time, we need to discuss a way to address drivers without actually cursing them somehow.
Yeah, we've got to sort this curse out, haven't we? We've got to
Yes.
stop that, because that's quite bad of us today.
Yeah, and it's not like as if we did it on purpose. We really wanted all the drivers to finish in the best way they could. But anyway, with that said, I think it's time for us to go off. And with that, this is the end of the Independent Series week. We will be back next week on Tuesday with, if I could pull up our calendar, with Open Series and Formula Challenge.
That's the one.
Yes, and where are we next?
Circuit of the Americas.
There we go. That's Circuit of the Americas for the career ladder. And we will be there in Open Series at and Formula Challenge on Tuesday, with Super Cup on Wednesday and Super League on Thursday, as per usual, on the usual times. And we will see you then. Bye-bye.